The most powerful tool for sustaining hours of focused work isn't more caffeine, more discipline, or more willpower. It's the ability to stop. Most people operate under a fundamentally flawed belief that to produce more, you must work without interruption. Modern neuroscience, however, shows us this is a mistake. The truth is, to work more, and with higher quality, you need to pause more often. Your capacity to sustain elite mental effort lies not in your resistance to fatigue, but in the intelligence of your recovery. And it is precisely this intelligence that we are going to build today. Welcome to our training ground. The challenge we are tackling today is universal. The inevitable dip in mental energy that sabotages our productivity and leaves us exhausted by the end of the day. It's that feeling around 3 in the afternoon when your brain simply won't respond anymore. You look at the screen, you know what you need to do, but the strength to focus has vanished. This is not a motivation problem. It's a system problem. And today, you won't be getting motivational platitudes. You will receive a practical, science-based protocol to take control of your mental energy. By the end of this video, you will have a simple tool in your arsenal to combat cognitive fatigue and transform your breaks, which today might just be distractions, into a powerful high-performance strategy. If you're looking for real strategies to build the best version of yourself, consider subscribing to get access to more tools like this one. Let's start by being honest about the nature of the challenge. Think about your workday. The morning usually begins with clarity and energy. Tasks flow. But as the hours pass, something begins to change. The effort required to concentrate increases. You find yourself rereading the same email 3 times. That complex report now seems like an insurmountable mountain. Procrastination, once a distant thought, now whispers in your ear. Not as an invitation to laziness, but as your brain's self-defense mechanism against burnout. If this resonates with you, understand this. It is not a character flaw. It is not a lack of discipline. It is a physiological process, a physical event happening inside your skull. The name of this enemy is cognitive fatigue. For decades, we thought of it as a metaphor, but recent research, such as from the Paris Brain Institute, has shown it has a real biochemical basis. When you perform intense and prolonged mental work, your brain accumulates metabolic byproducts in crucial areas, especially the prefrontal cortex, the headquarters for your focus, planning, and decision-making. One of these byproducts is a neurotransmitter called glutamate. In excess, it essentially makes it more expensive in terms of energy for the neurons in that region to fire. Your brain isn't getting weaker. It's literally making it harder for you to use your highest level executive functions. This is why, when we are mentally tired, we tend to choose the easiest task, the instant gratification, the endless scrolling on social media. Our brain is pushing us away from cognitive effort to protect itself. Trying to overcome this with sheer willpower is like trying to run a marathon on a strained muscle. You might move forward a little, but the damage will be greater and the performance mediocre. The first step to conquering this enemy is not to fight it head-on, but to understand that it exists and that the solution isn't more brute force, but a smarter strategy. The fundamental mindset shift we need to make is this. The mind is not an engine that runs until the fuel tank is empty. It is a muscle, and like any muscle, its strength comes not from continuous effort until failure, but from the intelligent alternation between cycles of tension and recovery. The solution to cognitive fatigue, therefore, is not to avoid intense work, but to strategically integrate recovery within the work itself. And this recovery comes in the form of micro breaks. To understand why such short pauses are so effective, we need to look at 2 pillars of science. The first is the attention restoration theory, or ART, developed by psychologists Stephen and Rachel Kaplan. They posited that we have 2 types of attention. The first is directed attention. It requires effort and is what you use to focus on a spreadsheet, write code, or analyze a contract. It's finite and depletes like a phone battery. The second type is involuntary fascination. It's effortless and is activated when we look at something intrinsically interesting, like the movement of clouds, the leaves of a tree in the wind, or the waves of the sea. An effective micro-break works by unplugging from directed attention and allowing involuntary fascination to recharge the system. The second pillar is the activation of what neuroscientists call the default mode network, or DMN. Far from being an idle state, the DMN is a brain network that becomes active precisely when we are not focused on an external task. It is the state of mind wandering, and it's in this state that our brain does crucial work. It consolidates memories, connects ideas creatively, and processes complex problems in the background. When you force your focus for too long, you inhibit this essential function. The microbreak is the window you open for the DMN to do its job, often bringing you the solution to a problem you were trying to solve by force just moments before. The best analogy to unify this idea is the Formula One pit stop. A race car doesn't pull into the pits because it's broken or slow. On the contrary, it stops for a few seconds at the peak of its performance as part of a deliberate strategy. That pause to change tires and refuel is what allows it to maintain maximum speed and ultimately win the race. The microbreak is your cognitive pit stop. It is not a sign of weakness. It is your high-performance strategy. Knowledge without action is useless. Therefore, let's translate this science into a concrete action plan, a system you can implement immediately. We'll call it the 25-1 protocol. It's simple, direct, and designed to integrate into any work routine. It consists of 3 steps. Step 1. Intense focus for 25 minutes. Set a simple timer for 25 minutes. During this block, your sole mission is to work on a single task. No checking emails, no notifications, no distractions. 25 minutes of focused, uninterrupted work. This is your period of effort, your lap on the racetrack. Step 2. The strategic micro-break for 1 to 2 minutes. This is the heart of the system. When the timer goes off, you stop. Immediately. And for 1 to 2 minutes, you execute a high-quality rest. Here is what you should do. Stand up and step away from your screen. The physical act of changing your posture signals a change of state to your brain. Look out a window. Focus your eyes on the most distant point you can see. This relaxes your eye muscles and, more importantly, activates the involuntary fascination we discussed in attention restoration theory. Stretch. Stretch your arms, your neck, your back. This releases the physical tension that contributes to mental fatigue. Breathe deeply. Take 3 or 4 deep, slow breaths, focusing on the air moving in and out. This calms your nervous system. Now, what is even more crucial is what you are forbidden from doing during this minute. Do not touch your phone. A social media feed is not a rest. It's a torrent of stimuli that demands low-quality directed attention, draining your cognitive resources even further. Do not read emails or news. This keeps your brain in information processing mode, preventing recovery and the activation of the default mode network. Do not start complex conversations. Social interaction, while important, is also a cognitive task. The goal here is mental silence. Step 3. Repeat the cycle. After your micro-break, restart the timer for another 25-minute block of focus. Repeat this 25-1 cycle 2 or 3 times. After completing about 90 minutes of work in this way, then take a longer break of 10 to 15 minutes, where you can walk, get some coffee, and disconnect more completely. This protocol transforms your day from a marathon of exhaustion into a series of intelligent sprints and strategic recoveries. The core message today is simple. Mental fatigue is inevitable, but burnout is a choice. Your ability to produce high-quality work for long periods depends not on your ability to ignore tiredness, but on your intelligence in managing your recovery. You don't need more hours in your day, you need more energy in your hours. The 25-1 protocol is not a magic formula. It is a tool. And like any powerful tool, its value is not in knowing about it, but in using it consistently. The responsibility for your focus, your energy, and ultimately your results lies in your hands. You are in control. The question is, what are you going to do with it? If this strategy made sense to you, remember that knowledge alone does not produce results. Action does. To solidify your commitment to this practice, write in the comments, "I am a cognitive athlete." Declare your intention to treat your mind with the same strategic intelligence that an elite athlete treats their body. And if you're looking for more tools to build the best version of yourself, logically and without platitudes, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. You are in control. Now, go execute.